Hi, my name is Anthony with Purpose for Purpose. I am your career coach. Today, we're going to do some question and answers about finding the right job opportunities. A lot of times, we start a job search and we're just like, where do I even begin? So, hopefully, these questions will help you get your path started the right way and help you streamline your processes. So, let's get right into it. First question: how do I know if a job description is realistic? This one. So, let me back up a little bit. When Before you apply to any job, I'll highly suggest that you're researching that employee, vetting them out, making sure that they're gonna, the job opportunities meet what you're looking for, both personally and professionally. Meaning, budget-wise, income-wise, benefits, schedule, work-life balance, um, all the things that you're gonna need. That they're gonna meet those opportunities. They're gonna meet that for you, for as advancement opportunities, career growth, training, all that stuff. So before you even apply, you know that they meet that criteria. So as you're vetting out that company for the role that you're looking for, when you're looking at the job description, like make sure that you're able to do the job. A lot of times, I've worked for a lot of companies. I've spent most of my adult life I worked in retail, and so retail, a lot of times you're doing a lot of things, and the job description will tell you you're going to do other things that may not necessarily be listed on the job description. And so most jobs are doing that where you have to wear multiple hats. And so just be mindful as you're vetting them out, and like as you talk to the recruiters, you talk to the the hiring managers, and all that stuff. Ask those questions, like in the interview process. Hey, as you study the job description, and you have questions, ask like when it says "and other duties as needed," what those other duties is needed, because you might find yourself in a cleaning toilets if you're not careful. So I hope that's not the case, but ask questions. So I hope that helps you. That's probably a roundabout way of just knowing if a job description is realistic. You only find out by asking the recruiters if what's really required. What are some things that are not listed that may be a job requirement for you to do? By asking that question specifically may help you get more insight if that job description is realistic or not. Um, but also just the relevance to the role. If you're being an accountant and it's giving you some outlandish job description tasks that were required to be done. If you got to not only manage the books, but you're also required to hire for the staff. Like, are you are you an account manager, or accountant office manager, or make sure that the job title aligns with the job description. If it doesn't, you might want to keep looking. All right, next question. What if every job I see requires experience that I don't have? A lot of times, what we fail to realize that even as a college graduate, you have learned an education in a certain field. Now, the work experience might be different from employer to employer within that same industry. So I say all that to say that the employer is going to train you on the ways that they want the job done. So there's going to be training for every part of it. They just want to make sure that as the applicant, that you're competent, that you are able to be taught, to be trained for the responsibilities of that job. And so if you don't have the experience, as long as you have relevant knowledge and education, certification, designations, whatever, as long as you have education that you're competent to do the job, that should not be a problem. And then you have to be able to speak to that in the interview. So don't feel discouraged when you don't have experience. That's the thing. You have to be creative sometimes to show relevant work experience. What is life experience? A lot of times when you graduate college and you haven't worked a job yet, and so how do you go to a job that's requiring 3 to 5 years of work experience and you've been in college? So you have to take those transferable skills of where you were getting up every day, going to class. That's the same as you would get up every day to go to work. So relevant work experience, relevant life experience can be experience. So you just have to figure out how to word it and you have to learn how to word it for you, so that way you can show them that you do have relevant experience, that you're capable of doing the job. Whether it's from volunteering, it could be household duties as being a parent in a household, of the parenting duties, or household upkeep, doing chores and all that type of stuff. There are so many different life experiences that go unchecked or unrecognized, but it qualifies as experience. So just make sure that you're really doing some self-reflection to make sure that you understand what experience that you do have that you really bring to the table. And don't be discouraged. All right, next question. How can I tell if a company has good management before applying? Part of your background check of the company, your vetting out process, Go to glassdoor.com, go to indeed.com, go to salaryexpert.com. It gives you insight into more of the business and more of the employer. It talks about leadership. LinkedIn gives you insight into the CEOs and leadership, the boards and things like that. But go to their website, look at the board of directors or whatever. It'll show you a lot of times people. You can click on them. You can go take their name and information. Go to LinkedIn and see if they're on there and see their background of experience, where they went to school, their work history. A lot of times, because some people will put their full resume on LinkedIn because they're also looking to be poached by a recruiter to go to somewhere that they deem is better than where they're at. So be mindful of that. But you definitely vet it out. Make sure that you go to an employee that has competent leadership, because what you don't want to go is as these CEOs will go from company to company. I think most recently, I want to say it was the Chipotle CEO went to Starbucks or something to that effect, or maybe vice versa. But it just shows you like, okay, well, he went to a restaurant, he went to a beverage place now. So it's like it's transferable experience, because you might say, well, what does he know about coffee? He was at Chipotle making tacos and burritos. So as long as you have to be able to express your experience, your transferable experience, because they may say, well, restaurant is restaurant. Logistics with supply chain management, expense control, all those different things, marketing, advertising, all those things are the same. So you have to be able to convey transferable experience to the potential employer. All right, next. Um, how do I research a company before the interview? Kind of touch on that a little bit. But you want to, the same thing. They're going to do a background check. They're going to do a criminal check on you. They're going to do a credit check on you. They're going to check your social medias. They're going to look at LinkedIn to see where you're at, to see what type of person you are. What do you do in your private life? They're going to look into all those things. So you need to do the same thing for them. Look at their management staff. Look at their CEO. Look at the board of directors. What does the community say about them? What does Facebook say about them? Are there some memes on TikTok about them? Are they being sued? Are they in the media for being fraudulent to their customers, consumers? Like, really look. Like, you go on their website, look at their mission statement. What is it called? Social responsibility. Are they giving back to the community, or are they taking away from it? Like, look and see what they're doing. Their reputation. Look at their financials. Look at their stock. If they're a publicly traded company, is their stock profitable? What the stock look like for the last 5 years? Has it been on obviously the economy is we're in recession. Are we in recession? All those different things. But do your due diligence. Look at everything that's available to look. Use AI to help you streamline. Like, hey, ask ChatGPT. I'm looking to find information about this company. What resources would you have me to look into to do a background check on this company? And it will give you information. So using AI to help streamline your process is very, very, very important. And I'm going to talk about this just for a second. I often recommend, I also say this in most of my videos, that I suggest that before you apply to a company, that you investigate them, research them, do the background check on the company to make sure that they're able to meet all of your needs. You should have a dead set of non-negotiables, that things that you're not willing to compromise on. And if this company that you're applying to meets your non-negotiables, then you should be applying for that, but only after you vetted them. Using AI will help streamline that process. And so my reference when you look for a job is, you say, for example, I don't suggest like you go to Indeed and you look and, I'm in Atlanta and I want a nursing job. What are some nursing jobs that's in my zip code? And yeah, that could work, but you got thousands of people doing the same thing. You want to be more specific and more structured with your job search. So what you want to say is, okay, if I'm a nurse, what are my best bets of what I can do to be successful? So one of the things I want you to do is know yourself. Do you thrive in a big hospital, or do you do better in a smaller clinic? If you know that you're not really a people person, that you can handle small dosages of people, then you might look to be in a clinic. If you say, I'm a people person, I engage when I'm energized when I'm around a bunch of people, then you might be in a hospital role. And so picking a hospital, you might say, well, hey, in my area, we have WellStar, it's one of the bigger hospitals. Okay, so I'm going to look at WellStar. I'm going to vet them out. I'm going to look at opportunities, because as a nurse, depending on if you have a specialized training in nursing. You may be pediatrics. You may be, primary care or general care or whatever. But whatever your field of practice is, then you need to narrow your search and your niche so that way you can more directly focus your job search on that niche. Um, but then as you start to notice, okay, Wellstar, okay, what are some other competitors of Wellstar? And you may say, well, there's um, Emory. I'm in Atlanta-based area. So if there's Emory, there's I'm sorry. Luckily I haven't been sick, so I haven't had to go to the hospital. So I don't know what all the hospitals are in my area. But I know Weststar is one of the closest ones to me, and I know there's Mercy, Grace Mercy, or something. I don't know. I'm sorry. Forgive me. But long story short, if you know there's several hospitals in your area, vet them out to make sure that they're in good financial standing. They're not be closing the hospital down on you. They're not laying off staff. Make sure that the leadership is good, that the culture, like study the culture, like that's why LinkedIn such a good resource because you can contact people that actually work there and ask them their perception or their belief of what the culture is like. If it's a micromanaging culture, if it's a toxic environment, that you should stay away, stay away. I'm only here because I'm living paycheck to paycheck. Don't come here. Whatever it is, like make sure you do your due diligence of vetting it out to know what you're getting yourself into. Because what I don't want is for some of you that are watching this video right now, you're furloughed or you've been laid off or your job is threatening to downsize. And so I don't want you to put yourself in another situation or what you're enduring right now. So you're at a crossroads right now. So hear me. I want you to really take the time to vet out potential employers. That way you don't find yourself back in the same situation because what will happen is the last person hired is the first person to be let go. So I want you to be aware of that. So please, please, please do your due diligence when researching employer. All right. Next question. We talked about researching them before the interview. So definitely research. And so also when you research before the interview, the interviewer is going to ask you, what do you know about the company? And that's your opportunity to, say, hey, I know you guys are great, have a great reviews in the community. Your social responsibility program that you do, you give so much food back to the food banks in the city or whatever they do. You want to be able to speak to that. And they're like, oh, they appreciate, they respect you more because you did your due diligence. And so they're also going to expect you to have more questions about something that you may have seen. Or if they say, hey, I know that you guys are expanding globally. Can you talk to me a little bit about what's your footprint going to look like overseas? Do you know geographically where you guys are going to go? Are you going into London? Are you going to Canada? When you say globally, where do you mean you're going to go? And then how was that impact our domestic operations here? And so asking those type of questions because they're like, oh, well, you asking me questions about my pay grade, but I will definitely find out and get back to you. But they're like, this person's an asset. They're wanting to grow, they want to learn, they want to be engaged here. So that's what they're looking for. So be mindful when you vet out the company. Do your due diligence. I'm not saying you got to know everything. Hey, the company was founded in 1876 and it's had five CEOs since 1985. And you need to know relevant information about what they do and what they're looking to do 5-10 years from now. Or, what their future outline is, the culture, just whatever you find out about it. You don't have to write a book report. You don't have to have a 3-page essay. Just keep it simple. It's like, hey, I know you guys were, part of the AT&T family. You get ventured off. You got bought out by this company. I understand that you guys specialize in robotics or whatever. Like, just give them a general overview that's really short and concise, that they know that you did some homework about looking into that company, that you know what you're talking about. All right, next question. What is the difference between a recruiter and a hiring manager? This is something that a lot of people just don't know. So a recruiter is a person that's paid to headhunt. They're paid to fill positions. They have a quota they got to meet. They got so many positions they got to fill, and their job is to fill those positions. Sometimes they're a contract employee. Sometimes they're on staff. And so their job is to fill positions. They have to make sure that they're filling positions in a timely manner. They have a budget for said positions that they're filling. So that's why it's important to research the employer, to research your industry, to research what you're needing for pay, to do a market assessment of what they're paying in the industry in your area. Don't be looking at, hey, what they pay this much in San Francisco, but you live in Atlanta. They're not going to honor that. So make sure you know in your area. And when I say your area, so a lot of us live in small towns. We live in neighboring communities or bigger cities. Base your market range on the bigger city. That will help you. But if you are an employee is in a small town, they're going to base their rate on the small town. So be mindful of your location and the market ranges of pay. So going back to the difference between a recruiter and a hiring manager. So the recruiter, their job is strictly to interview and pass them on to the hiring manager. The hiring manager is actually the person that's on staff that is probably going to be your direct reporting manager. They are the ones that do the job of the role that you're applying to. They're the ones that's probably be your immediate supervisor or someone higher than your immediate supervisor. So they're tasked with hiring and making decisions of who gets hired and who does not. They're basically working with the recruiter to say, hey, this is what I'm looking for. I prefer this type of personality or this particular skill set. This is what I'm looking for. So they're giving that information to the recruiter. And so they're working in tandem to help one another get what they need. The recruiters need to fill positions. The hiring managers want people to fill with competent, good people that's going to help their job, make their job be easier. So that's the difference between the two. Again, a hiring manager is somebody that actually works doing the job, is a frontline supervisor or higher up manager. So they're just part of the hiring process that has the power to approve or hire or fire, deny, or bring on whatever. So that's the difference between the two. So I hope that information helps you guys. That was information about finding the right opportunities. I gave you a little bit more information than what was the questions we're asking. But again, this shows you that I really want to give you guys a lot of good information that will help you with your job search. Again, my name is Anthony with Preparation with Purpose. I am a career coach. I want to help you get your job that you're looking for. I want to help you, guide you to the right path that you're looking to go, that you're not getting a job just to survive, but you got a job that's going to help you thrive and flourish. Again, go to the website, preparationwithpurpose.com. If you're interested in talking to me more about more information, I offer free consultations. I do offer paid services. Like I said, I'm going to help you with mock interviews, going to help you with resume writing. I'm going to help you with proper goal path, career path setting. I'm going to help you with job salary negotiations. I'm going to help you with everything that's involved with the job search process and getting hired. So hopefully this information helps you guys. Definitely like the video. If you have questions or other questions you want answers to, definitely leave those in the comments below. Guys, I really appreciate you listening to the video and watching it. Continue to help me grow this channel up, and just like and subscribe. And also share the video with someone that may benefit from this video. Thank you guys. Talk soon.